So with the season 3 balance patch now being a couple months old now, I did want to go back and look at one very specific line because I think this change has been going under the radar a little bit, and it got me to really think about some of the game mechanics myself. So much so that I even made a full spreadsheet to detail the implications of this change. So there will be a spreadsheet at the end of this video. I know people have been missing the spreadsheets for quite some time, and yes, it is even color coded as well. The line I'm referring to in the patch notes is this line here as part of the overall concept in the first part of the adjustment summary for the season 3 balance patch. If you don't want to call it the season 3 balance patch, in the 2025-06 version patch that we are currently playing on. And the line reads as such: in anticipation of long-reaching lows becoming a powerful way to begin offense, characters that are able to cancel their crouching medium kicks will no longer be able to evade an opponent's throw after having their drive rush to light attack blocked from crouching medium kick. This will require the opponent to throw as soon as they are able. So what this meant is the death of shimmy from crouching medium kick, drive rush cancel into jab. Supposedly. Now, if you actually go through the patch notes, the only characters that actually have anything mentioning this change is Ken, Rashid, and M. Bison. So if we look at Ken's changes, this is the change. So if you wanted to see where this was in the document, if you downloaded the PDF, you can search for this change. Forward momentum. The changes to standing light punch for Ken, extended forward momentum from drive rush by 3 frames. And then you can also see that from crouching light punch, extended forward momentum from drive rush by 4 frames. So you can see that for us, either they're standing, crouching, or both for the light punches. This happened to Ken, Rashid, and M. Bison, but they didn't put this for any of the other characters. So I was like, wait a minute, if this was supposed to be like a universal change, does that mean with other characters you already couldn't shimmy from a drive rush cancel to jab? It started to get me thinking. I was like, wait, how does this mix up even work? So I started investigating this, and we're going to break down exactly what's going on with this change and how it actually shifts the defensive meta a lot for this technique, and changes the risk reward and how you can consider applying that to your own matches. And then we'll get into the spreadsheet to break it all down. But first, for this to work, you need to understand something very, very important. So you need to understand the DPOS on drive rush cancel. So what is that about? This is a drive rush cancel to jab. Why does this even matter in the first place? So that matters because the only thing you can ever possibly do from a crouching medium kick drive rush cancel that is a true block stream, meaning there's no gaps whatsoever, is a light attack. That might vary which light it is based on the character. Some characters have slower lights than others, but your 4-frame light is generally what it's going to be. What does that mean in practice? So here I have Terry doing DP immediately after blocking a move. If I do crouching medium kick and go into jab, immediately it's a block string. The DP is not coming out until after they block the jab. But if I try to use any other move, this is my 4-frame light. If I try to use my 6-frame medium, there's a gap and the DP interrupts. It doesn't hit in a true block string, which means if I go crouching medium kick also to a throw as well, there's a gap there, right? So what does this mean? This means that if I react when I see green after a crouching medium kick drive rush cancel, I can input a DP and it will beat any mix-up they go for whatsoever, and it forces them to end in a jab to keep it airtight. So if I instead show you that on the defensive side, I'm going to have the dummy do crouching medium kick to drive rush cancel to jab. If you look at my inputs on the left, I'm actually inputting DP after blocking the drive rush cancel, but you see I'm still blocking, because if you're in a true block string, meaning there's no gap, as long as you don't get hit high or low, you do have to properly be standing or blocking. I can mash whatever during this and my buttons don't come out and I don't get counter hit because this is a true block string. So I can exploit that by inputting DP from crouch during this cancel. And if he goes into a jab, I start blocking after the jab and then my DP doesn't occur. Now, in this recording, instead, I'm going to have the Terry player do crouching medium kick into a throw. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, where I'm going to do my DP at the same timing. But this time, my DP comes out because they left a gap. Same idea. If I instead go into, they go into the crouching medium punch, which has a gap, my DP comes out. And I can prove that this is a real consistent OS. I can turn all 3 on. And I can just keep looping this, right? And I can practice this. So if they do jab, the DP doesn't come out. If they do crouching medium punch, the DP comes out. And if they do throw, the DP will come out. But if they do jab, I'll go back to blocking. See? When they do jab, it doesn't come out. If they do throw, it comes out. This is the DPOS on Drive Rush Cancel. This is what every competent player with a DP is doing against Drive Rush Cancels all the time. This is a core foundation of the meta around Drive Rush Cancel. This is so fundamental now to competitive Street Fighter. Everyone's doing it if they can react in time. Now, obviously, sometimes they don't actually react in time, so they don't do it, but this is what everyone is doing. The only counterplay, really, to punish people for doing that is to do something super nutty, like, which I've demonstrated before. You can do this. But this is a hard read. And it costs a lot of meter. But that is an option. But you got to understand, this is the only real counterplay to stopping people from doing this DPOS. Or at least to punish it. So for the most part, people are doing this into jab. That's why you see the common option from low for Drive Rush Cancel on block is to go into jab. Because it is the only safe, guaranteed option you have as a block string. That is the reason people do that. And this is a powerful position because after this, I'm +3 and I can do a tick throw. If you mash a button there, I'm going to throw you. It's a super powerful position to be in. So what does that mean defensively? Well, if you try to tech this throw right away, you can tech it. But obviously that's risky because if I frame trap you, you can get hit. But have you ever noticed that with some people, you can never really mix them up like that? Well, if I increase the delay of the throw on defense from immediate throw tech to 4-frame delay tech, now the dummy will do a throw tech, but it'll be 4 frames after they block. So they're slightly delaying when they input the throw. Now, if I go for tick throw, they tech, but also somehow they're blocking my frame trap. This is the quintessential delay tech. This is also what everybody is intuitively doing once they understand that this is a thing. They're not mashing the throw tech right away. They're delaying it slightly. And because they're delaying it, they're inputting the throw in a time where your follow-up frame trap button, you have already blocked it and then you press throw. So you end up still having your throw come out in a time to tech an offensive throw, but also delayed enough to block a tight frame trap window. So that's really good. And people use it all the time. But why can't you always use it? Well, you can't always use it because if I do something like this, I can kill you for this. I can absolutely kill you for this. And then, of course, there's the other option, which is shimmy. What if I just walk back, you whiff your throw, you also die. So delay tech, while yes, really good for beating throw and for beating tight frame traps, it absolutely gets massacred by shimmy and by neutral jump shimmy. That's the downside to delay tech. Super powerful, but has a lot of risk to those options as well. That's where the change comes into play. Based on the patch notes, they said that you aren't able to do crouch immediate kick into the jab and still secure a shimmy, basically, is what they implied. So if they delay by 1 frame here, I'm going to have 1 frame of delay in the normal throw and try to shimmy. I can walk back still, make the throw whiff. Now, if instead I had them do throw with 0 frames of delay and I try to walk away, I get grabbed. Immediate mash throw tech from this situation beats shimmy. Now, this apparently was already in the game because they did not make this change to Terry. Terry had this built into his low for Drive Rush. They added this to Ken, Rashid, and N Bison. And the other side of this, why it's so powerful, if instead you go for the neutral jump punish as well on immediate throw tech, you can anti-air in time. So, immediate throw now beats shimmy. I tried to walk away there, I couldn't get away. And it beats neutral jump. Now, don't think this beats everything, because once again, we went back on the wheel of options. Now, if you do an immediate throw tech, my airtight frame trap will beat you if you tech right away. And also, I can still do a backdash shimmy, and you'll whiff. And I can punish that with a backdash. However, Doing backdash shimmy, if I want to get an actual punish on a whiff throw, backdash here loses the buttons. So you can see how the wheel of options keeps turning. It's not like I can always guarantee bait an immediate throw tech. If I'm focusing on getting a big punish on immediate throw tech, maybe you as a defender know that and you just press buttons even though I'm plus. So that's the mix-up they're trying to encourage here. You're not going to always get a guaranteed throw tech. If on defense, sometimes you should be mashing throw immediately. Immediately mashing throw, and you'll throw people out of this walk back shimmy. But if you're late by 1 frame, you're going to get shimmied. You have to react right away. So this definitely changes the risk reward as the defender. And I've been personally, since I've been more aware of this, I've been using a lot more immediate throw tech defensively. Delay tech is good in a lot of situations, but so risky. And in a lot of ways, immediate throw tech is actually way more powerful in this situation than other defensive options. So that is definitely something you should be incorporating into your offensive game plan, or defensive game plan rather, is incorporating immediate throw tech. Like no delay whatsoever after blocking this. You'll actually secure a lot of back throws on people trying to go for shimmy. And on the other side, you as the offensive player, if you notice people are going for that, you need to incorporate things like your fast frame traps and potentially a backdash shimmy. You need to understand what your opponent is doing. You need to actually be thinking about this interaction a lot more. And apparently this all existed in the game, because in the patch notes, they only added it to 3 other characters, which got me thinking, wait a minute, if you're saying that this was added to be universal, but you only had to add it to Ken, Rashid, and M. Bison, does that mean every single crouching medium kick in the game had this property where if I fast tech, I can beat shimmy from any distance? Well, I went to testing that, and so I was like, wow, this seems to be pretty universal, right? So if I try this with Ryu, for example, I'm going to have Terry here, once again, immediate throw tech. So if I do crouching medium kick, drivers cancel, and I try to shimmy after the jab, I should get thrown here. I'm not gonna lie, this was not even supposed to be the one where the throw whiffed. I was trying to make that work. I was trying to show that if you're close enough, yes, you will get thrown. But if you're at max range, Ryu can still make it whiff. But I guess that range is so forgiving for Ryu that I literally blew my whole build up and accidentally made it whiff right away. So yeah, I went to Ryu to test this, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't as cut and dry as I hoped. With Terry, if you're at max range with low 4, no matter what, if you are blocking and you block this from Terry, if you fast tech, they cannot shimmy you. 100%. But then Ryu, yes, there's a range. If you're like here, if you're at this distance, you're gonna get thrown. But if I walk back a little, we'll walk back a little bit more. Suddenly, it's fair game. So I was like, wait a minute, this isn't as cut and dry as I hoped it would be. And also based on the patch notes, the patch notes said this is a universal change. Even though the change only applied to 3 characters, it made it sound like the rest of the cast already had this property. It ain't like that. And when Ryu shimmies you, and he does that, you die. You die. You're dead. You should not have teched there. So this got me investigating, and this is where the spreadsheet comes into play. I went ahead and I tabulated all of the crouching medium kick drivers cancels from all the characters that have them to get down to the bottom of how this operates across the entire cast. And with that, I have finally the spreadsheet reveal. Here is the spreadsheet. The way this works is we have the characters on the left, and can the characters actually do a shimmy, or do they get thrown? In green means they can shimmy you. If red, that means they cannot shimmy you. So as we look here with Ryu, at max range, he can shimmy with both his standing light punch and crouching light punch. It doesn't matter. He's going to get that shimmy. Cammy as well. Cammy can still shimmy you no matter what. The nerfs did work. They nerfed Ken, who can no longer shimmy you. They nerfed Rashid, who can no longer shimmy you. And they nerfed M. Bison, who can still shimmy you. Bison can still shimmy you, even though they nerfed him. However, Zangief and Marissa have more throw range, so you can't do that to Zangief and Marissa. So they nerfed Bison, but he still has it against most of the cast at max range. But this still did clarify some things. If I'm playing against a Luke, Jamie, a Ken, a Rashid, oh, Chun-Li can still shimmy you, by the way, a Rashid, Ed, Akuma, Terry, or Mai, I know for a fact that sometimes I can incorporate immediate tech in order to have a different defensive option against the drive rush cancel into jab mix. So at least there is some kind of learning to be happening here. But if you're playing these guys, Cammy, Ryu, Blanca, or Chun-Li, and pretty much M. Bison as well, you're still guessing hard. You're still really guessing really hard. Oh shit, I didn't have Jury on here. I do have Jury. Hold on. Sorry, Jury cannot shimmy as well. I must have missed her. I'll add her to the spreadsheet. Okay, there we go. Full spreadsheet. Elena. So guys, this table only includes characters with a crouching medium kick drive rush cancel. So I didn't do any investigation to shimmies from a medium or anything like that, like a crouching medium punch, not a low. This is just for the low forward drive rush cancel characters. So Elena does not have a low forward drive rush cancel, a crouching medium kick drive rush cancel. So I did some digging. So yeah, it seems like with the changes, they did increase the number of characters where fast tech is applicable, but I'm a little confused about these guys. So just to be clear, if these characters are within a certain range, yes, you can quick tech to beat shimmy, but they're able to still space their crouching medium kicks to make your throws whiff. So that's the difference with these characters in green. They're still, if they're at max range, they can shimmy you. If they're really close though, for sure you can quick tech. But I do think in general, the one takeaway from this is for sure that quick tech is a strong option to incorporate. Don't always be delay teching because that can be extremely exploitable, but also don't always quick tech. You need to mix up your defensive options for sure. And I think just knowing your options is powerful. While yes, I am still also a little rather not moved by the molasses pace of the patching, and I still don't love crouching medium kick dry rush as a defining mechanic of this game. Knowing your options does help you play stronger and feel more engaged in the decisions you're making rather than autopiloting defensive options and not understanding concretely the risk reward of what you're doing. If you don't have these things ironed out, I think you tend to autopilot options and then get upset when they don't work rather than understanding what other options you could have chose based on their habits and work towards implementing those and finding more success. So I think that can help. I think that can also lead you to having more fun and more conscious decision making in these defensive situations. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So I don't know why they didn't nerf everybody to make this 100% of the time not have this issue. It's a little weird, but now we know the facts about this change. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the Clips channel, by the way, please subscribe. I'm trying to do more videos like this on the Clips channel, not on the main channel. So if you enjoy this, let me know with a little subscription. Appreciate it. Peace.